In the year of 1972, the Summer Olympics took place in Munich, Germany. The games are publicized as the Games of Peace and Joy. They set out to banish the ghost of Hitler and the Nazis at the 1936 Berlin Olympics, where Hitler used the event as a means of propaganda. They also set out to show that Munich was a fun, cosmopolitan city that had changed after World War II, along with the rest of Germany. Little did they know that members of the Black September group were planning a major attack. For Black September, this was their first time they were making an appearance in the world spotlight, but it wasn't their first appearance. Black September was also known internationally for attacking the Prime Minister of Jordan. On September 5th, 1972, members of the Black September Group, an extremist faction of the Palestinian Liberation Organization, or the PLO, took 9 Israeli athletes hostage during the Munich Olympics. Taking the athletes hostage was Black September's plan to bring the PLO's cause into the world spotlight and get several hundred Arabs held as political prisoners by Israel released. The plan went amiss when negotiations with German officials failed to leave all sides satisfied. They agreed on flying to a neutral country, Egypt, to further debate the diplomacy. The diplomacy failed, and as a result, the Germans failed at saving the lives of the athletes. While Black September failed at getting the Arabs released, they succeeded at capturing the world's attention. This event, along with many other events similar to the Munich Massacre, consequently resulted in conflict between the two nations still to this day. Palestine and Israel have had a rough history dating back to the early 7th century. After World War II, the Jews pushed for a state in their Promised Land, which is where the Palestinians resided. In May of 1948, Israel became an official state. The birth of Israel resulted in many changes for the Palestinians, who were forced off their land and into refugee camps. Some fled to neighboring countries like Lebanon and Jordan. This caused a lot more friction to build between the two sides. Ever since, they've been attacking each other and forming organizations to defeat have different views and opinions on whether this event was a debate or diplomacy. This event could be seen as both. It was a field diplomacy where three main sides tried to come to a decision so that each side would be satisfied. They debated the diplomacy and couldn't come to agreement, so they finally decided to fly the hostages and terrorists out to a neutral country, Egypt. But Germany had no intentions of flying them out, but to stall them and buy more time, they made an agreement. The members of the Black September group believed that Israel would give in, although Israel firmly stated that they wouldn't. Each side wanted different results. First, there was the side of Black September group and its supporters and followers. They took the athletes hostage in order to try and get their brothers, other individuals who were jailed for their involvement with causes and organizations similar to Black September, released. Then there was the side of the Germans. They wanted no Jewish bloodshed on German soil again, because it would be a shameful memory of World War II, and that Germany hasn't changed its anti-Semitism ways. They were caught in the middle of it all because they were the hosts of the Olympics. The third side was Israel. They wanted the athletes returned, but the Prime Minister, Golda Meir, stated that Israel would not release the prisoners at all under any circumstances, and that they would have rather lost all of their athletes than give in, which is exactly what happened. There weren't very many successes that took place as a result of the massacre. Black September's most notable success was that they succeeded at capturing the world's attention. The Germans and Israelis weren't as lucky. The Germans failed terribly at getting the athletes rescued alive and safely. Germany had attempted several times to rescue the athletes, and instead of succeeding like they had hoped, they failed severely. Israel had to deal with the loss of the 11 athletes. The Munich Massacre of 1972 had many failures and successes, but those were just short-term effects that occurred as a direct outcome of the event. It may not seem important to some, but this event changed the face of terroristic attacks between the two nations. And it also changed the face of terrorism in the Middle East. It is important because if the outcome had been different, then the aftermath of the event would have been better. The main consequence of the event is that there is still no peace for the two nations. This event was part of the whole cause and effect factor, because one thing led to another, which led to another thing. It's like throwing a pebble into a pond and watching